Hello everyone. Welcome to part 1 of Pass Out Mid-Sentence Prank. Funny how I said I will go for angst next time in the last challenge, and this didn't turn out angsty at all. Anyway, as always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who still watch my videos. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with the uploads, and let's get into it, shall we? Come online, I have an idea. That's never a good thing. If it's another challenge. It's not. Oh, thank goodness. It's a prank. Oh shit. Do you not remember how the last prank we did ended? I do remember, thank you very much. Then why would you tempt luck again? What happened last time? You don't want to know. It was bad. Oh. Relax, it's fine. I'm sure luck turned already after so long. I don't think that's how luck works. Whatever. I want to try it and I want you to do it too. It's passing out while you are talking with your partner. Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound like it could go bad. Not at all. What he said? Come on, don't be cowards. No, 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 and no. I'm not doing another one of these. Unfortunately, you have no choice. Go on, take as much time as you need, but be sure to do it. Or what? Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Of course, the most stupid stuff had to come up when he was having a good day. He finally managed to make his boss give him a few days of vacation so that they could head out of the city on a family trip. And now he was supposed to ruin it before they even finished packing? No way. However, maybe doing it right now was better than waiting with it for when they arrived at their destination. If he played it right, he wouldn't even scare Semi that much, and they could be on the way on time with only good stuff ahead of them. Right, that's what he was going to do. But how? Just gotta wait until he isn't holding go. That would be a disaster. And find some place with soft things. The last thing he wanted was to hit the floor and actually hurt himself. Or risk Kosuke getting hurt in the process in case Semi panicked after all. And so he kept circling their couch, stacking their things in a way that would muffle his fall in case he didn't hit the couch itself, and followed Semi's every move, waiting for the right moment. Do we really need 3 blankets? Semi looked at him pointedly, motioning towards Kosuke, who was now quite happily munching on the corner of another blanket, and Shirabu sighed. Right. Next time we go somewhere, we should pick a place that has a washing machine. Though the next time might be when Ko is like 5. Semi chuckled, the sound lifting Shirabu's mood instantly. He waited, wondering whether he would hear the soft whisper of words. But to his immense disappointment, Semi stayed silent this time. Still, just the fact that he could try speaking again now, after nearly a year of staying silent, was incredible. It only occurred to him now when Semi started to whisper again just how much he missed hearing his voice. Not even singing, but overall. The cheerful welcomes, soft love yous, and even their occasional arguing. He missed it all. He startled, and then had to bite on his tongue to suppress the wave of emotions threatened to spill out. Did you sign something? I wasn't looking, I'm sorry. Soft smile curling his lips, Semi gently pinched his cheek as always when he was trying to cheer him up. Oh, that. It's nothing. I was just thinking about some stuff. But I was wondering if... He wavered a little, leaving the sentence unfinished, and let himself fall in the direction of the couch. Yet, before he even hit it, a pair of arms wrapped around him to carefully lower him down, the hitched breath sounding by his ear, making him feel even more guilty. Soon, calloused hands cupped his face, and his heart cracked upon seeing Semi's panicked expression. Sorry, my head spun. He tried for a reassuring smile and quickly covered Semi's mouth to stop the incoming flow of questions. As much as he wanted Semi to speak again, too much too soon could do more harm than good. I'm fine, I promise. Just some lightheadedness, that's all. Give me a bit. I'll come help you in a minute, okay? It's fine. Semi didn't look convinced in the slightest. He let his hands fall from Shirabu's cheeks and headed away, only to return in a minute or so with a big glass of water and some sweet snacks. Take it. Rest. His expression didn't allow any protests, and so Shirabu just sighed and nodded, taking the offered refreshments. Alright, but I promise it's okay. I'll help you soon. To that, Semi clicked his tongue and walked away again, returning in a bit to put Kousuke and his favorite plush toy on his lap. He didn't say a word, but to Shirabu it was clear what he meant. You sit down and keep an eye on our child, I've got it. I could have still helped. But Semi wasn't listening to him anymore, his focus back on the pile of clothes and other necessities they had to pack. Shirabu sighed, but deep down his heart melted. He kissed Kousuke's head, earning a bubbly giggle. What a great dad we have, huh? It had been about 4 days since he was forced into participating on the prank, and his feelings hadn't changed a bit. It was still stupid and unnecessary in his opinion, hence why he put it off for so long, and why he didn't intend to do it anytime soon. He had enough things on his mind already. And on top of everything, his body was slowly betraying him that day too, with the worst timing possible since they were supposed to go on a walk. He tried to keep up a cheerful front since he was looking forward to it the whole week, and definitely had no intention to let the occasional flash of lightheadedness ruin it for them. But it was becoming more and more difficult with every step he took. Come on, dammit. We finally have all the time in the world and I can't even enjoy it. Bruno whined quietly next to him, just like he did the whole morning, refusing to even chase the ball Kentaro was throwing him. You too, go play. Dad's trying his best. I'm right next to you, you know? Shigeru snickered and gently nudged Kentaro's side. How could I forget? Yeah, keep making fun of me, why don't you? He tossed the ball again, but Bruno still refused to move from Shigeru's side, and even stopped to sit down right in front of him this time around. Come on, buddy, what's wrong? You can't just stop in front of me, I could have stepped on you. Bruno whined again, but refused to budge, even when Shigeru nudged him out of the way. His head spun violently when he bent down, making it rather difficult to keep his expression unchanged. He tried to stabilize himself by somewhat inconspicuously leaning on his thighs for a second, but it didn't seem to help much. Before he could react, a warm hand touched his forehead. Are you okay? You look pale. Huh? No, I'm fine. Totally fine. You sure? Shigeru forced a smile that was supposed to be reassuring, but judging by Kentaro's face, it didn't go well at all. A strange pain shot through his head, blurring his vision for a moment before the lightheadedness came back in full force, swaying the ground under his feet. On a second thought, maybe I should sit down. His own voice sounded hollow in his ears, yet he could still clearly hear the worried edge in Kentaro's. And then his legs gave up under him. At first, he thought it was some weird dream he had. There was a sky in front of him, some branches maybe, and then a very familiar and very worried face. Something warm and wet was nudging his face now. The soft whining right by his ear only slowly piercing through the mist settled on his mind. Thank goodness. How do you feel? Something hurts? It took a few seconds before the question registered, even the simple shake of his head costing way too much energy. My head spins. Yeah, no shit. I almost didn't catch you. Why didn't you tell me? Shigeru sighed, slowly but surely recognizing his surroundings and what was happening. He was laid on one of the benches lining the park paths if he could go by the weird pressure against his back. Bruno was busy licking lower half of his face, his whining breaking Shigeru's heart. And Kentaro was there with him, gently caressing his hand while holding a wet handkerchief on his forehead. Should I call an ambulance? No, it's going to be fine. Just give me a while. Nah, I don't trust that anymore. Do you have any idea how much you scared me? I'm sorry. Sighing deeply, Kentaro shook his head and kissed the back of his hand, squeezing it tight. Just rest, okay? If it doesn't get better, I'll get you to hospital. Can? No protests. You can't run away from me anyway in this state. That was indeed true, even if Shigeru planned on making an escape. But he didn't. He worried his husband enough for one day already. And so he closed his eyes and tried to relax, tapping around with his free hand before he finally found Bruno's head. You were trying to warn me, weren't you? Such good pupper. Yeah. We really got lucky, huh? The luckiest. In just the 2 days since he was involuntarily dragged into the supposed prank, Dashio's immune system seemed to have rioted against him. Perhaps it was a warning not to tempt fate, just like the others said in the chat. But why would he need a warning when he didn't want to do it in the first place? He hated worrying Terushima for no reason. Knowing how much his fiancée cared for his health and well-being, he could imagine what kind of reaction doing the prank would cause, and he definitely didn't want to see that. Now though, with his whole body aching and burning, he couldn't help but wonder if he didn't have a legit reason to worry his partner after all. He's still going to freak out though. He tried his best to hide just how unwell he was, but it was getting progressively more and more difficult to pretend. Yet there was still a big part of his mind telling him to not let Terushima know anything, to not bother him with his health issues and deal with it himself, just like so many times before. Sharing his weaknesses only ever led to something bad happening. Always. It's different now though. Yuji isn't like that. He would help, even if he panicked a little. He never gets angry for this. He knew that was true. He knew he could ask for anything and Terushima would do everything to give it to him. He knew he would help. Come on, it's not so difficult. Painfully slow, he got up from the bed and waddled into the living room where he supposed Terushima would be, his whole body heavier than lead. Sure enough, he found Yuji doing something on his laptop by the table, his brow furrowed in concentration, suggesting he was doing something for their wedding. It was kinda adorable how eager Yuji was to start the planning process, saying he didn't want to wait to be husbands too. And despite the awful pain throbbing through his head, Dasho had to smile seeing him in full swing. Yuji? Terushima hummed absent-mindedly before he froze for a bit, and his head shot up. What's wrong? Huh? I didn't even say anything yet. Yeah, but your voice is weird. He jumped up before Dasho could explain, clearly worried as he held his hand against Dasho's forehead. You are burning up. Yeah, I know. That's why I went to you. You should have stayed in bed. What if you fell? Come on, sit down. It's not so bad. He wasn't sure if he finished the sentence or not, as in the next moment, his ears stopped picking any sounds and his whole vision went black. The first thing he heard were voices, muffled and somewhat distant, and yet he was pretty sure he recognized one of them. He just couldn't pinpoint whose it was. The next thing was a cool touch on his cheek, and then also a dim light when he finally forced his eyes to open. And also the face he wished to see the most. Sugu? Oh, finally. I was so worried. You didn't wake up for so long. Dasho tried to smile, hoping that would be enough of a reassurance that he was alive and well. Or as well as he could be anyway. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was this bad already. He glanced around. Hospital? Yeah, I panicked when you suddenly folded. I had no idea what happened, so better safe than sorry. Dasho melted inwardly, Terushima's words shutting down the overly cautious part of his mind. Thank you. For nothing. I'm just glad you are okay. He leaned down to kiss Dasho's forehead, a shuddered breath escaping his mouth. I was so scared I was losing you. Please don't hide sickness from me again. We got lucky this time and it's just some nasty fever, but don't do this again. Promise me. I promise. And this time around, he intended to keep that promise, no matter what his other part would say. The other thing other than the danger of tempting fate again that kept him from doing the prank was the fact he couldn't act very well. Sure, this was just letting himself fall on some preferably soft surface, but the whole deal with it being mid-sentence was making it unnecessarily difficult. He had to actually pretend he was losing consciousness, which he had no idea how to do. He never saw himself faint. How was he supposed to act? What about his face? Should he roll his eyes or just let them go unfocused and fall? What about his breathing? Those questions followed him for the whole day. For a while, he wanted to ask someone on the team for help, but then decided against it. Knowing them, he was quite sure someone would blabber to Atsumu and ruin even the little chance he had of convincing him. And so he stayed silent and waited for the right moment. Mommy, do you have to be sweeping right now? I'm trying to work here. Sakusa raised his eyebrow at his pouting boyfriend before he resumed sweeping the floor. Yes, I have to, because someone didn't think of changing his shoes when coming home from a run. I already said sorry. Sorry won't clean the floor. He jabbed Atsumu with the broom, earning an offended huff. I would clean it later. I just need to finish this. He looked rather destroyed, sitting slumped over the paperwork he was forced to do due to a sponsorship deal. So much so that Sakusa couldn't find it in himself to scold him anymore. However, it gave him the opportunity he was waiting for. He positioned himself so that he would fall straight on the couch and rubbed his temple, trying to recall how he looked when he was in pain. Are you okay? Yeah, just... I got a bit lightheaded. From what? How am I supposed to know? I don't... He left the sentence hanging in the air and carefully crumbled on the couch, hoping Atsumu's tired brain wouldn't question the details. Sure enough, the heavy stomps coming closer and the panicked call of his name were pretty good hints that he was indeed correct in his assessment. Mommy? Hey, come on, what happened? Can you hear me? Just got lightheaded, yeah, sure. He lightly tapped Sakusa's cheeks. Come on, don't you faint on me. I don't know what to do. Sakusa almost rolled his eyes, but then stilled when Atsumu started to move his body around into what he soon recognized as recovery position. At least he remembers something, I guess. He waited for a while, listening to the frantic sounds as Atsumu fretted around him, mumbling something that Sakusa didn't fully catch under his breath. In a way, he was happy about the reaction he got, since it meant Atsumu would help him if something happened for real. On the other hand, though, he felt guilty for stressing Atsumu for a stupid prank. And so he started to twitch his face a little before he slowly opened his eyes. Atsumu was by him in a flash, relief almost rolling off of him in waves. Mommy? Okay, good. Wakey wakey. You scared me, you know? Sorry. What happened? Atsumu shrugged, letting out a strained chuckle. No idea. You said you got lightheaded, and then the next moment I see you drop down. Thank goodness the couch is here. Yeah. How do you feel? Should I call someone? Ambulance or... No, it's fine. I feel better now. Okay, that's good. But stay where you are for a while, okay? I don't want you to fall again. That Sakusa gladly promised. He tugged on Atsumu's hand to keep him in place too, giving his hand a light squeeze. Here, please. Oh. Alright, no problem. Anything you want. He settled on the floor by Sakusa's head as if keeping word, and Sakusa would have to smile. Perhaps it was cheeky of him to use the situation like this, but if it helped Atsumu to come to different thoughts than the paperwork, he had no reason to feel guilty. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Damn, it's still fluff. I can get into the angst mood and all that. I don't know why. Probably nothing too bad happening in my life, I guess. Anyway, I will try to get back into angst as soon as possible. If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.